Streaming all across the country, from Washington State to South Beach and the Northeast to the deserts of Arizona, to dive into all things football. You're listening to the B&E Podcast. Here's your hosts, Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
Week 14 is underway, and so are we. Welcome to another episode of the B&E Podcast. We're sponsored by Premium. He's Ed. I'm Brandon. Ed, your team is on a bye week, so what is your game plan this Sunday?
Just chill out and watch these games. Fantasy football, getting close to playoff time, so maybe bite my nails and seeing how I'm gonna do with that. Hopefully I can get into the playoffs, but we'll see how it goes. What about you? What's your plans?
Ravens in the early window and split screen on the second, pretty much typical. It'll be a little bit different next Sunday because we'll be playing on Saturday, so I'll be able to watch some games on Sunday and not have to worry about my team at that point, whether we win or lose. But we won't be playing. Actually, I think the next two Sundays following this week. Well, of course, Christmas, everybody, I think, is on that Saturday pretty much, I believe. Maybe it's a couple games on that Sunday, but yeah, it'll be good to get our games out of the way early the next couple weeks besides this coming week. So, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, let's get this opening drive going. Titans fired their GM, John Robinson. I'm wondering if it's because A.J. Brown came back to town and did his thing on him. I don't know, but that was kind of interesting because they were been doing all right, 7-5. Last year they made the playoffs, so that was kind of eyebrow raising to me. Bills defensive end Von Miller is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. He's been having a great year coming off that Super Bowl win with the Rams. It looked like he was really helping his Bills defense, so it's going to be a tough loss, I think, for the Bills. Falcons plan on starting rookie QB Desmond Ridder after their bye week. I kind of wish they would have just went with him to begin the season. I'm not sure because I didn't think Marcus Mariota was the guy, but you live and you learn, I guess. And I don't know if this is another nail in the coffin for Dan Snyder's ownership with the Commanders, but according to a report by the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, Dan Snyder contributed to a toxic workplace and attempted to impede the misconduct investigation along with the NFL. So the NFL also was attempting to impede in that investigation. Roger Goodell, you looking funny in the light. Dan Snyder, you already been looking funny in the light. So I'm just hoping this can get the ball rolling, is making them forced to sell a team, but we'll see. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? You think they're going to discount? I mean, this guy's ever going to be able to get the team sold, or he's just going to keep bullshitting around and being the owner of the Commanders?
It seems like the last couple things that have came out it's moving in that direction. But then again, I think back to a couple months ago, they supposedly purchased land out in Virginia for a new stadium. So it seems like he had probably, I'm pretty sure, something to do with that. I'm sure. I wonder if that's going to play a factor into that now behind the scenes. Like, will that make a potential sale, even more lengthy, or more of a headache in a sense? But yeah, it seems like these last couple of big headlines out of DC, as far as that goes, it seems like it's going in the right direction. I think the owners obviously will have something to deal with it as well in the off season. But yeah, if he supposedly, went to Bank of America, a couple months ago, and then this came out yesterday or the day before, whenever, it's looking like it's going in the right direction. But, he seemed like he's been a duck and dodging type person. So it's almost like I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely feel you on that. I think a can of worms is slowly starting to be open because you remember John Gruden got fired over those emails. Now they're saying, well, did Dan Snyder leak them? So that could be even more implications. And I just think it's I don't want to say funny. I just think it's crazy that the NFL was like impeding the investigation as well. So
yeah,
Snyder and Goodell are in cahoots, in my opinion. And I don't know if Goodell's gonna come unscathed from this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Most definitely. What a shocking outcome, everyone. On Thursday Night Football, Baker Mayfield and the defending champion Rams, they stopped a 3-game winning streak for the Raiders and they won at home 17-16 over Las Vegas. I didn't see much of this game myself. Turned it off at halftime. I honestly thought the Raiders were going to win. In the back of my mind, I thought it'd be close, and it might have been a chance that the Rams were going to win, just because those Thursday night games typically do go to the home team. But obviously, the records at this rate, they were kind of close, but the Raiders' record was better than the Rams. They both were on different types of streaks. We talk about the Raiders 3 games. Rams were on a 6-game losing streak. But what I did see when I was watching this game was Devontae Adams early on, 2 big catches on Jalen Ramsey. I know they've been talking about Jalen Ramsey this year. I think he's given up 6 or 7 touchdowns. He's got like torched on him apparently. They say compared to like on his average or the most he's been in one season is 3. We all know Jalen Ramsey is one of the best in the league. So yeah, early on, Devontae Adams had his, he had it going against him, but it didn't target him, or he didn't have very many more catches after. I think he had 1 more catch, but yeah, he had that first one-handed grab. And then the other one was a sideline toe drag catch. And I believe that was on 2 defenders, but Jalen was the first defender, obviously defending him. But the Derek Carr interceptions were the difference in this game. Looking back at it, he kind of gave the Rams a chance there at the end. Man, I know, I think you were saying that they was, you want to see what Skip Bayless was going to say about it. He's a big Baker Mayfield fan. I didn't get to watch it this morning, but I'm sure you'll comment on that if you did when you come in a second. But when I was watching, I know Kirk Herbstreit kept mentioning the fact that Baker Mayfield had just claimed off waivers on Tuesday. They sent him the playbook digitally. That way he could study it on the plane. And, how this is like almost unprecedented. A guy comes in 2 days after getting the playbook and plays like this, on and on and on. Kirk, that seems like every time Baker was on the field, he was saying that. But honestly, he played well, in my opinion. But as a veteran quarterback, you kind of expect that in his first game. Yeah, it was a short, turnaround, obviously. But, number 1 overall pick, 2, you're a veteran. You've been on 3 teams at this rate. We kind of expect you to have a decent game in your first game. That it shouldn't be something that they're kind of boasting them up in a sense. But yeah, the Rams they're out of it pretty much at this point. I mean, they would need a miracle to get into the playoffs, but it has to be good for the entire team and obviously their fans to get snap that 6-game winning streak. What did you take from this game?
The legend of Baker Mayfield continues, boy. I mean, to piggyback on what you were saying about Kirk Herbstreit, I remember Baker Mayfield made a routine throw and hit a first down, and Kirk Herbstreit was like, "Oh my God," he was just going on crazy. Yeah. He was like, "It's so fascinating."
Yeah,
like, come on, dude. I mean, congrats to Baker Mayfield, but right after the game, I'm friends with my friend Jason. He's a Raiders fan. I text him, "Jason, are you okay, man?" Because Raiders, man, that second half, 13-3. They get a field goal, 16-3, and then about 3 minutes left. What could go wrong did go wrong for the Raiders, boy. I tell you, man. They got a sack, and then Jerry Tillery, the former Chargers first-round pick. I guess we know why the Chargers got rid of him, because he made a dumb move where he knocked the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hand. I'm not sure what he was doing. Maybe they were talking trash. I don't know, but that was the sportsmanlike conduct after the sack. So the drive continued to go. Baker Mayfield made a good throw to Skoranek. Sorry if I said your name wrong, buddy. But he made a really good throw to Skoranek. It was on 2 Raiders defenders. I thought the safety who came over to help played the ball wrong. I didn't really understand how he got in the position he did. Then it's like the Raiders were playing like man coverage, press coverage, and I thought they should have played it more safe and let them beat you deep. Don't play on man coverage and let a guy just run right past you. Just back off 5 or 10 yards. You got this is weird. It was just really weird. I think the Raiders folded like some damn origami paper. Baker Mayfield did have some nice throws though. The touchdown throw he had to Van Jefferson was a really nice ball, even though it was on a rookie cornerback who was all by himself. It was really weird. Even before that, before they scored that game-winning touchdown, they were forced to punt, and then I forgot who it might have been. No, it was Cleveland Farrell, the
Yeah.
Raiders first round pick a couple of years ago. I think he's been in the league for like 4
Yeah, I
years
want to
now.
say
So
19, I believe.
he's got like 9 sacks so
Mhm.
far. But they forced him to punt. But this guy Farrell, he jumped off sides, and then I think he ran into the punter too. So that kept the drive going, and they scored a touchdown. It was 16-10. And I was thinking to myself, uh-oh, I don't like the way this is going, because the
Yeah.
Raiders, the second half, they mostly ran the ball. They played really conservative. You were talking about Jalen Ramsey early in the first half. Devontae Adams had some really nice catches against them.
Yeah.
I think there was a good matchup for Jalen Ramsey, because I think he does better against guys like his size, like tall, big guys.
Mhm.
It's like when he goes against somebody like Tyreek, a small guy, or a shorter guy who's really fast, I think that's when he really gets in trouble. But when he goes against a guy that's like his size, he usually does good against him, because Devontae only had 3 catches for 71 yards. And those 2 catches you talked about, those are really nice throws by Derek Carr, really great catches. One was,
Absolutely.
Jalen Ramsey held Devontae's hand. He caught it one hand. And that
Yeah.
second one, like you mentioned, at the on the sideline, the toe drag catch. And he put his hands out at like the last second. They were talking about it on the broadcast, how most receivers, they'll have their hands up like 2-3 seconds before the ball gets there. The defender can kind of tell when to like swipe at it, but Devontae was like, and then the ball came like that.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice catch. But good rim for the Rams. I know I kind of wish I was in the locker room after that game, because I know it was a really good time for everybody. And the Raiders locker room, boys, I can only imagine how quiet it was in there. The defensive coordinator, I hope he has a job by the end of the week, because I don't know what the hell he was thinking with some of the plays he was calling. It was just, I don't know. But the legend of Baker Mayfield continues. Skip Bayless was trending on Twitter last night, because you know how he beats the drum.
Yep.
For he's more of a fan of Baker Mayfield than he was with Tim Tebow, because I remember back in the day he was a huge Tim Tebow fan. Oh my God, this was back in the day when him and Stephen A were still doing First Take Together. But
Yep.
I think he's more of a fan for Baker Mayfield than he is for Tim Tebow, because it was just crazy. But terrible win for the Raiders. I thought before this game, because they were on a 3-game winning streak, they still had a slight chance of making the playoffs. But I don't know. They could still run the table, but 9-8. I think it's going to be kind of hard. I think this might be the nail in the coffin of the season. This is a really bad loss. Really bad loss.
Yeah, we both mentioned Herb Street. I'm gonna talk about him real quick. I just don't know. I don't know what the contract situation is with him as far as him and Prime Video, and I don't know if he'll be around next year. Me personally, I'm not a fan of him on NFL. I was honestly surprised when they brought him in. It almost felt like we spent all this money to get Al Michaels, because I'm sure they had to pay him a boatload of money to get him from NBC over there. And we bring in Kirk Herbstreit, and it's like he just repeats the same thing. It's like you said, he was so fascinated with Baker Mayfield, like legit, like it's not that damn serious. We should expect this from a veteran quarterback. Yes, Baker, but we should expect this from a veteran quarterback going, from what has he been, 5 years now in the league, two different teams within the last 6 months or whatever. Yeah. Plus the fact of all these offensive coordinators and play callers he's had over this time. So Baker's a smart guy. So I mean, yeah, it just honestly seems like he's always repeating himself on air. I don't know if he'll be around next year. I don't know what the ratings are for him in their broadcasts, or again with the contract situation, all that type of stuff. It just seems like he's a little bit out of place. I think he does well in college football, and I think that's with all due respect, Kirk, I think he just needs to stay at college football, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was like the preparation, the anticipation of the throw, and him coming in off of 48 hours. It's so fascinating. I mean, the guy threw like a 12-yard first down. Like, I get it. I mean, I do understand, it is impressive that off of 48 hours, Baker came in there and did what he did. But at the same time, Raiders helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
But I think this game probably going to extend his career another 3-4 years, just because off the damn legend of this game. And guys, I think a lot of people beat him up in the medium, but he also has some defenders, Skip being the biggest one. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see going forward. I think he has a chance next year to start some games for the Rams too, because I didn't realize the injury Stafford had. I thought it was a concussion he was dealing with. I didn't know he had a spinal injury, and that's why he's on IR. And that's a pretty big serious deal. And dealing with his previous injuries dating back to the Lions, who knows how long he has left in his career. So we'll see. It'll be interesting going forward to see how if Baker Mayfield can stay around with the Rams. Because I think I wouldn't be surprised if him and Sean McVay are like a match made in heaven. But we'll see what happens.
Should be. I mean, number one overall pick, again, all these offenses he's played in, and then Sean McVay, the type of offensive play caller that he is, they should match very well. So yeah, very, very interesting to see. That'll be another quarterback situation we'll be watching the offseason right there on the West Coast. 49ers, wink, wink. All right, everyone. AFC East positioning. It'll be on the line Sunday afternoon when the Jets and Bills take the field. Kickoff is set for 1:00 p.m. Eastern time there from Buffalo. Looking back at it, the Jets, if you forgot anyone, they beat the Bills just a few weeks ago, and they really made Josh Allen look bad. That was one of his 3 straight multi-interception games he had. A very bad stretch there. Again, one of them came against this Jets defense. I don't think that'll be the case on Sunday. Let's start with the obvious. I mean, Stephon Diggs, he's going to get his for sure. Even against the rookie phenom and Sauce Gardner, my defensive rookie of the year pick. I always like to shout my guys out. But defensively for the Bills, I'll be watching Matt Milano. I know he was questionable early in the week. I'm pretty sure he's questionable as of now. I'm sure he'll be out there, unless it's absolutely like I'm not sure what injury he's going with. I just remember seeing him on the injury report. Anyway, he could wreak havoc all over the field. Talk about when Von Miller was out there. Von Miller was the center of attention. We know Von Miller's out for the year, basically. But along with Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Xavier Rhodes, and them guys, Milano's a baller. He had a great game against Baltimore, and I think we played him in week 4. He was my defender of the week on the show back in week 4. But on the other side, the Jets, they should be confident after nearly beating the number 2 seed in NFC, the Vikings, last week. Mike White, he had a down game after his stellar performance in his first start of the year, the week prior. But I think he'll rebound and do quite well. Decent this coming week. But the Bills are the better team, so I'm going to go with them. What do you feel about this game?
Yeah, I believe the Bills are a 10-point favorite in this game. The Jets do have Mike White. He seemed to have given this Jets team some life, though. And the Jets, they beat the Bills last time they played, 20-17, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But I agree with you. I think the Bills will get that win back. I think the Bills will be motivated. They'll probably remember losing to them last time and want to come out there and kick their butt. I'm expecting not a close game. I think the Bills should dominate, even with the loss of Von Miller. I think that will have some impact on the pass rush, but I don't think the Jets will be able to run the ball just because that rookie phenom they had is out right now. I think they got banged up. Michael Carter had some issues. They brought in James Robinson. I think he got hurt as well. So they're down to an undrafted guy, Zonovan Knight, who he has played well, but I think the Bills get late in the season, teams are starting to pick it up. I think the Bills are going to start, hitting all cylinders, and I think they should win this game. But it just is interesting. I got to give the Jets a little bit of chance just because they beat them last time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I'm just hoping Elijah Moore can get some touches. Garrett Wilson, he's having a breakout year as a rookie, so I know he'll be heavily involved with the offense. But I'm hoping Elijah Moore, they realize this guy can play a little bit. They throw on the ball as well, but we'll see. But I got Josh Allen over Mike White, so I think the Bills should win this game, but we'll see. Before we go anything, this is random off subject. Tom Brady and the Bucks, thank you, because I picked y'all to win Monday Night Football and y'all almost lost it. And for some reason, every time I pick a damn team to win the Monday Night Football, the other team whoops them or the other team comes out ahead and win. And the team I pick is usually like the favorite and the no-brainer. But this year, I don't know if it's me being on the podcast. I'm just putting the energy out there. But thank you, Tom Brady. But sorry about that.
I'm in the same boat though.
Right. Back to the Jets Bills. I got the Bills winning as like I said, they're a 10-point favorite. I think they can cover that. I think they can cover 10 points. What about you? You think they can cover a 10-point spread?
Yeah, I think they got it. I think Buffalo got it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we both got the Bills in that one. All right, let's go to the AFC North. The Browns are taking on the Bengals. This will be Deshaun's second game in action. How are you feeling about this game, Brandon?
Speaking of Monday Night Football, this was one of my many Monday Night Football incorrect picks this season. I don't know if you remember, we had Mark on last time.
Yeah.
And you and I picked Cincinnati. Yeah.
I remember.
And we both looked like fools when Mark came out on top and picked Cleveland. I thought that Myles Garrett was going to get his 2 sacks in there, and he did. But yeah, I think this game could be one of the better contests of the weekend. You mentioned Deshaun Watson. He'll make his AFC North debut against the red-hot Cincinnati team, fresh off a big win against Kansas City, the number 1 seeded Kansas City at the time. Watson, he came out a little rusty, though. I mean, obviously, we kind of expected that. Anybody with common sense should have expected that. But they'll likely run the ball again as he continues to work himself back. But as for the Bengals, this offense, we all know they're damn near unstoppable. Browns will have their hands full for sure. It's honestly looking like they haven't even missed Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase. Yeah, Jamar came back last week. He had 97, 98 yards, but still Samaje Perine, I think I'm finally got his name right. He's been doing his thing, and I see him doing the same thing on Sunday. Then the wideouts, again, we don't even have to really talk about these guys in detail because we all know that any given week, any of the 3 guys there can ball out for sure. The records say go with the Bengals, but it's a divisional matchup. Right. Could say otherwise. If I had to pick right now, I'm going Cincinnati, but definitely Cleveland has a shot in this one just because it's divisional and just because they beat them early this year. And yeah, I mean, there's many different factors as to why Cleveland could win. So what are you looking like in this game?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Bengals should win it. That first game when we both picked the Bengals, I think that was the first game without Jamar Chase. So I guess the offense was discombobulated. This game, Jamar Chase will be back. I'm not sure if they have their tight end Hayden Hurst. He went out last game with, I believe it was a calf injury. And right now, I think he's doubtful. I think he hasn't practiced, has some limited practice. So it'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to play or not. But I don't know, man. It'll be Deshaun's second game back. He was really rusty that first game. Maybe he'll get into the groove this game and look like that former Texans Deshaun Watson and look like an MVP out there. So who knows what happened? I know Amari Cooper, he's dealing with some injury right now. I think he's listed as questionable at the moment. So if he doesn't play, that'll definitely be a huge miss for the Browns offense. But like you said, Myles Garrett, he did his thing. He was a game record that last game. I think he'll get a sack at least in this game as well. But like you said, divisional game. I'm leaning more sort of the Bengals as well. I think they're in a groove right now. Let's see, how much are they favored by? Because they got to be a favorites in this damn game. Yeah, they're a favorite, but it's only by 5.5 points. So okay. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati as well. I think Joe Burrow, he's on a roll. He's in the MVP conversation as well. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals. We'll see if Joe Mixon plays or not. But like you said, Samaje Perine has came in and done his thing. T. Higgins, he hasn't dropped off at all, and I think Jamar Chase. I think it was in the offseason, Jamar Chase and the receivers for the Bengals, they were talking about Denzel Ward because I think Denzel Ward and those guys were barking some noise at him because they beat him.
Yeah, I believe it was the offseason.
Yeah, so I know they probably circled this matchup. Jamar probably circled this matchup like, yeah, it's time to get some payback. So we'll see if he comes out extra motivated or not. But I'm gonna go with the Bengals. We'll see.
Oh, this is me. My bad. All right, everyone. NFL Total Access. They're calling this their game of the week. Eagles and Giants. Ed, I don't know who's responsible for that decision. This is your division. Excuse me. Give us the insight on this game.
NFC East matchup. Eagles at Giants. Game of the week. I don't know. I mean, possibly. I think the Eagles should be able to handle them pretty handily, in my opinion. Yep. But you never know. Divisional games. As you tell me all the time, the opponents know each other very well. But the Eagles are favored by 7.5 points, so basically a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, who's right now my MVP, in my opinion, just a dual threat, and he's taking a leap as far as throwing the ball. I was watching RG3 on Twitter, and he was talking about how he's improved in reading the defenses and stuff. I think he's starting to pick teams apart, passing the ball. AJ Brown's been a huge addition for them. And I know you mentioned that the Giants secondary is a little shaky right now. So we'll see. I don't think Saquon is going to be able to do too much, but Daniel Jones, he's also a dual threat. He's more of a running threat than passing threat these days. So we'll see. Maybe he can do some things. And maybe the Eagles will make a mistake, let Kayvon Thibodeau go and touch the quarterback a couple of times like the damn Commanders did. Charles Leno, how you doing? But in my opinion, I would say the Eagles should win this game, and they should win it by. I give them that 7.5 spread. I think they should win it by a touchdown at least. What about you? How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm looking up Saquon Barkley real quick because I think they said he was ruled out.
Yeah, he was dealing with like a neck injury.
Yeah, I see Yahoo Sports has him ruled out. Oh, no, questionable. Sorry, questionable.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought I saw something on IG earlier this morning say he was ruled out. But either way, I don't think the Giants are going to win this one, and I'm a fan of the Giants. But yeah, they're likely on the way to losing their 3 out of their last 4. Besides the tie last week, obviously. This is a team in the Eagles that's playing on a different level. Honestly, I'll get back to him in a second, though. But Daniel Jones, he hasn't played his best ball of the past 3 weeks. We've seen turnovers and mistakes that weren't on display early in the year, for sure. I had this in my notes. If they can run the ball, they stand a chance. But, Saquon, he's questionable. And the Eagles have picked it up over the last couple of weeks since they've added Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph.
Yeah.
They've been struggled mightily for most of the season, but they finally seem like they've clamped down a little bit, definitely than earlier this season. But yeah, even though they're at home, the G-men only have a 25% chance of winning according to ESPN. So yeah, Miles Sanders and AJ Brown, barring a defensive miracle, they're both top 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns respectively, receiving and rushing. But yeah, Jalen, he'll have another big game for sure. I didn't even realize that he has 20 touchdowns passing to only 3 interceptions. That's damn good. So
very
yeah,
efficient.
Yeah, very. So yeah, give me the Eagles in this game. I'm not even gonna be a homer on this one and waste one of my picks on them. If the Giants mess around and win, I'll gladly take the loss in my picks league, but I'm definitely picking Philly.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think Jordan Davis, can't remember if he is playing or not. He got activated from IR, so
yeah,
he was getting close to his return. I know he's a rookie, but he made an immediate impact as a rookie.
Yeah.
So if they get him back, which they probably will by the end of the season, that defense will be even more stout. So
he's
we'll
definitely one of those rookies that have lived up to the hype for sure. I wanted him when we was on the clock, and I think we passed on him if I'm not mistaken. And the Eagles picked him up. So yeah, they either way, I definitely wanted him. Yeah, he's definitely a difference maker for sure.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're going to the AFC North. Ravens at Steelers, divisional matching up, fierce rivals. Brandon, how you feeling about this? Because I know you think the Steelers are trying to get on a run to get to 500 to keep Mike Tomlin's streak alive.
Anybody need an offensive coordinator? I'll pay for the flight to get Greg Roman to your city.
Yeah.
Okay. If you need him by tonight, I got you. Okay, everyone. I don't care what the cost is for the flight. He won first class. I got you. All right, everyone. Steelers week is very big in Baltimore and vice versa for Pittsburgh fans. But honestly, doesn't even feel like it this week because of how pathetic our offense has been over the past few weeks. I do believe that Huntley will provide a bit of a spark. Don't take that the wrong way, Ravens Nation, and say that just because he has a little bit more experience under his belt. I remember when he had to come in against Chicago last year. Yeah, the Bears are different than the Steelers, I know, but everyone in my picks league changed their pick, and they was like, I said, I'm staying put, and they said, why? I was like, because that was his second year. So it wasn't like when he was a rookie the year before and I think he came in once or twice for LJ then, and he didn't necessarily have a big game. And he didn't have a big game against Chicago either, but down the stretch when Lamar was out last year, he played decent despite the fact that he basically didn't have none of the top targets at that rate. We were banged up all across the board. We had no momentum and he still was playing good. But yeah, offensive line, listen up, big fellas. Y'all need to protect this quarterback because we can't afford to lose the backup quarterback for the second year in a row, or it'll basically be a repeat of 2021, 6 straight losses, and we have 6 more games left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we can't have this. So yeah, to make matters worse, we have the defending defensive player of the year and TJ Watt on his home turf, plus Minka coming off of a big game last week. So yeah, I do look forward to seeing Kenny Pickett out there. I've been a fan of his all year. Hopefully our defense won't allow him to have a field day, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Classic old school smash mouth football, AFC North, blood, bruises, on and on. This game typically ends in 7 points or less, generally in that 3 to 4 point differential. With that being said, I'm going to go with the Steelers. I know. Yeah, I think we're the better team, but you mentioned in your intro that I've been talking about Mike Tomlin not ending up with a losing record. They have 6 games left, give or take. I think it's 6 games left for everyone. And Tomlin's only 2 games away from being 500. Whether they end the season at 500 or end up 1 or 2 over 500, I think that they won't end up with a losing record for sure. And they're at home. It's very hard to play there. They haven't been the same since they changed the name of that stadium at home, but I think part of that factors into the fact they got a rookie. They've been banged up. Yeah, TJ Watt out multiple games. You can go on and on. Reason why they say traded away Claypool. A couple different factors, but yeah, the Steelers are playing good as of late. I think they're going to do it for their coach, and we play good there though at 1 o'clock games on Sunday, 4 o'clock. Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night, hell no. I would guarantee a Steelers win. But 1 o'clock, we got a shot, but I think that the Steelers are going to win this one. What about you?
Looking at the odds, I guess you're right, because I think they currently favor the Steelers by 2 points right now. So it's kind of like a pick'em game.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. Kind of leaning towards the Ravens though. Just like them a little more than the Steelers right now. I don't know if you saw, what's the dude named George Pickens? Dude's a rookie, but he already making some noise and making some fuss telling him to throw the damn ball. Like, dude, you're a rookie. You better just be happy you out there playing. Sit down and shut the hell up.
Yeah, he did. He was acting a fool. Yep.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe he might have a game of his life. Marcus Peters and those guys. What's your boy's name? Marlon Humphreys.
Yeah,
I think they should be okay. We'll see. Your boy, what's his name that just came from the Bears? Roquan Smith. I haven't really heard his name too much lately. Maybe he'll come out there and make a statement game against the Steelers. But I'm kind of leaning to the Ravens. I like Tyler Huntley a lot. It's kind of crazy. I saw something. Who was it? Harry Douglas. I don't know if you heard this or not. He was like, Tyler Huntley is actually a better pure passer than Lamar Jackson. Did you see that?
I've heard. I think, excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Orlovsky said something similar to that too. It was him or somebody on ESPN that said something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by that, but maybe he is. But I still think Lamar, he has better intangibles and of course he's more explosive. But Tyler Huntley, he can run the ball too. I'm interested to see how your OC will do if he'll open up the offense, let him throw the ball a little bit more. But you guys are a run first base team, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll be whoever wins the time of possession, in my opinion, will win this game. So if y'all can hold the ball a little longer than the Steelers, get some drives together, score some points, I think y'all will win this game. Just got to make sure y'all don't make any mistakes on the defensive side. Don't let guys like Pat Freiermuth break a tackle, then break a big run, or George Pickens or Deontay Johnson to do anything. I'm kind of worried. Deontay Johnson, even though he has issues with his hands, either fumbling or dropping the ball, he is still a pretty good, decent receiver. So I won't be surprised if he has a good game. Or maybe they do throw the ball to George Pickens after he had a little, I'm going to call it tirade, but he was frustrated because he only had like a target or two last game. But for right now, it's a pick 'em for me, but I'm leaning more to the Ravens. I think y'all will win this game. But have you heard anything about Lamar Jackson? I know they said he has dealing with a strained knee. I think it's a PCL he's dealing with. They said 1 to 3 weeks. I think they're saying there's a chance he might play. How do you feel about that? Do you think he should just rest for like a week or two, or you think they should get him back as soon as they can?
Sit him down, because we do have a decent backup quarterback, in my opinion, and we don't want to be down the road again to where he rushes them back, and it'd be those situations where he mess around and I guess injures it worse than what it is. Just got an update about 15 minutes ago. He missed practice again with the knee, so it's looking like Tyler will start. Harbaugh said today, looking like he's gonna. I don't think Harbaugh necessarily said it. Looks like his quote was, "Looks like it's going to be Tyler Huntley." Yeah, so all but basically said it. He basically said it early in the week, but I think he was trying to play mind games with Mike Tomlin, and I'm like, why play, of all coaches, him and Belichick? I mean, those guys know how it is. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing some rookie head coach where you could say, oh, we think Lamar might come out there, when everybody saw the damn injury, or saw that he didn't come back. So just tell the damn truth. I mean, you're not really giving a competitive advantage by saying that Lamar might play, in my opinion. So no matter what, I think he should take a week off for sure. Just make sure it's right, because the original prognosis was 1 to 3 weeks, I believe. So sit it down, shut it down. And I think we got Cleveland on a short week. So that might be another game you might want to shut it down too, because that's a road game as well. I don't think you want to bring them back in home, in my opinion. It is, I do kind of look at those type of situations, home versus away, when it comes to coming back off injury as well. So
if I'm him, I might shut it down until I'm healthy, because he ain't playing. He ain't got a contract. They might. I think they're gonna franchise him. I think y'all gonna franchise him. So I would shut it down until I'm healthy. I mean, you got backup running backs, backup receivers, backup linemen. Might have a backup offensive coordinator.
Please
the way you feel about him by the end of the season. So I don't know. If I'm Lamar, I'm like, man, I'm chilling. I'm gonna support my team, but I'm chilling. I need me to be straight so I get my contract that I want. But we'll see what's going on. We'll see what happens.
And real quick, Ravens fans, they were linking Greg Roman to the Stanford job, but yesterday or the day before it came down that he's reportedly now out of the running, and Jason Garrett is the front runner. So our prayers did not get answered. And it's looking like we stuck with him for 6 more weeks, like Groundhog Day.
Oh my God.
Help us, please. All right. Let's turn to the NFC, everyone. The third starting quarterback will be under center this year for the 49ers when they host the Bucs at Levi Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Will Debo and his teammates get another home win, or will Tampa Bay grab one on the road?
I'm not sure, just because Brock Purdy is playing. But that defense they got, man, Nick Bosa, he got 14.5 sacks this season. And the Tampa Bay offensive line has a lot of injuries. I think the whole damn offensive line is out. Like, except Donovan Smith. I think that's the only guy that's like starting that was on the team from last season. So I think Nick Bosa gonna be licking his chops all day trying to get at the Tom Brady, who's basically like a statue in the pocket. He can move around in the pocket. He has great pocket presence, but you can't get to him. So, but is this? I don't know. Brock Purdy, that win for the Bucks, I think that really sparked them. I think that their defense is starting to get a little healthy. I forgot the guy's last name, Logan Ryan. He came back last game. I think he'll look to get a little bit better as he plays one of the guys in the secondary. I think he's a cornerback, if not a cornerback, definitely a safety. But this I'm thinking about this game. I think I don't think, because when Brock Purdy came in, he did look pretty good. He didn't seem to make too many mistakes.
Yep.
But I don't know that he's going against the Bucks defense right now. I think they're starting to gel and really play well. So who's going to make less mistakes? I'm kind of worried about Deebo Samuel and his production with this rookie quarterback, though. I don't know if they'll be able to throw the ball. I think whoever can run the ball in this game will probably win it. And the Bucks, they were starting to do some things nice in the run game last game, but I don't know. They're going against a really good 49ers defense right now. I think they're first in like every damn defensive ranking, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. If not first and everything, they top 5 and everything. Fred Warner, they got the damn second coming of Troy Polamalu now in the backfield in the secondary. The guy, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name at the moment, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
If I had to pick a team right now, I'm gonna go with Tom Brady. This is gonna be his only second time playing in San Fran throughout his career. He's been in the league about 25 damn years now. It's only his second time playing in San Fran. So I think it's gonna be special for him to be back home because he grew up in the Bay Area. I think he might try to do some things out there. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks in the upset against the Niners. What about you, man?
That's an odd nugget, though. 25 years and only be a second game there, because typically you play the other conference divisions once every 4 years, and they usually try to alternate home and away versus the last time you played them. So yeah, that's very interesting.
But yeah, he was sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
In 2008, he tore his ACL.
Okay, so that was
he would have played them that year, and but he tore his ACL, so he didn't get a chance to play him. So yeah, this will be only his second time. That's
still like only would have been 3 times to date. I guess, I mean, the only thing you could else factor into is the fact that he moved when he came to Tampa. They might have reset because obviously that was going off the Patriots schedule. But wow, that's strange.
I mean, I'm sure he's played the Niners more, but I think
at home.
Right.
Yeah. But still, even like I said, away, it seemed like it would be every 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. I guess that would be right then. Yeah, every 8 years. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, either way, very odd. But yeah, Brock Purdy, you mentioned the fact that he didn't have a bad game, and he has this stout defense in San Fran. Those boys are going to do what they need to do to help him out for sure. And another great thing is that they don't have to go on the road just yet. This is the second straight at home and the second straight East Coast team coming to the West Coast. We saw the very high-powered Miami Dolphins go into there and pretty much got shut down as far as from the quarterback standpoint. I know when I was watching the broadcast, it was like, this just don't look like Tua. Like, this San Fran defense was all over him. They was confusing him, all that stuff. Obviously, there's a hell of a difference between Tua and Tom Brady, but defense, good defenses can do that. As you mentioned, Tom Brady's Statue of Liberty, pretty much don't move up in the pocket. He's taken a lot of hits and a lot of sacks this year with that very banged up and very different offensive line for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick against the GOAT pretty much and Brady, but I mean, they legit had to come back in the last 5 minutes just to win this past game.
Looking like Baker Mayfield out there.
Yeah. And then, they haven't been well in the first quarter for sure in every game, and they haven't been well in the first half for most of their games. But they had 3 points heading into that final last minutes of the game. It is Brock Purdy and this offense, but they're going to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. I think Debo's still going to get a couple of his touches in there. As long as you have Christian McCaffrey and Debo, I think you definitely have a shot on top of the fact that this defense is lights out. So if I had to, I'd pick the 49ers because they're at home. Very interesting. I think they said this will be the largest gap in quarterback age differential with Brock Purdy and Tom Brady. Of course, we all know Tom Brady's age. I can't even begin to tell you how old Brock Purdy is. I can actually look real quick. But anyway, and Mr. Irrelevant, he's 22 years old. Just checked it.
Wish I was 22 again.
Yeah, I know, right? Mr. Irrelevant versus the 6th round draft pick that nobody thought was going to do anything either. So this will be a very interesting matchup from that standpoint right there. But yeah, I'm going to go with San Fran at this rate.
Gotcha. Definitely see it. That's definitely a game I'll be taking a close eye on.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to the AFC. The Dolphins will be traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. Tua had a rough game last week. Jalen Waddle got hurt a little bit last week as well. Brandon, what you think about this game, man?
Right out the gates, I'm going with the Dolphins. I mean, I know traveling coast to coast, I just mentioned a few minutes ago, doesn't typically go well for the road team, but the Chargers are just too inconsistent for me, even though they're hosting the Dolphins there in Los Angeles. Both quarterbacks, though, they have similar stats when I looked them up, touchdown to interception ratio. I like Herbert a little bit more overall. I just trust Tua this year a little bit more because of his targets for sure. Low-key battle, I kind of forgot this, between the number 5 and the number 6 overall picks of the 2020 draft. Herbert was 6 and Tua was 5 to the Dolphins. I think a lot of people don't remember that. I know I didn't until I saw something. But yeah, Tua didn't look like himself last week. I mentioned in the last game we were talking about that 49ers defense really got to him. I expect a quick turnaround for him in this contest. The Chargers, they keep games very close this year. I'd like to see Austin Eckler get a couple more touches than he had last week, definitely in the run game. I think he had some catches to counterbalance it, but we want to see him run the ball. I know he's a dual threat, but still, he needs a little bit more production for this Chargers team to win, in my opinion. But the game will likely be close. I'm going to stick with the Dolphins in this one. What about you?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Dolphins too. I believe they are a 3.5 point favorite as well. Sunday Night Football. Yeah, I like, even though you could probably say Herbert's the better quarterback, or at least, better talent, bigger arm, little mobile, more mobile than Tua as well. But that Chargers defense, man, going into the season, I thought they would be great. I know the loss of Joey Bosa early in the season is really hampered things, but I thought Khalil Mack coming over, J.C. Jackson, and then they got Derwin James, who I think is a really good safety. Jr. Yep, Asante Samuel Jr. This is his second year, and he seems to be all right. Just got to work on catching the ball because he seems to be dropping a lot of interceptions when he does get a chance. But I like the Dolphins offense. I think they ran into a buzzsaw in that 49ers defense, and I'm looking to see them get back on track. I like Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson a lot. That's going to be a real good 1-2 punch. I think they're going to lean on that a little bit more. Give Tua the chance to breathe some. Then once the Chargers worry about that run game, then they'll start picking them apart with those short, inaccurate passes that he does. And he's got really good anticipation as well, leading guys. You get Tyreek Hill in an open field, it's damn near impossible to catch him like a damn jackrabbit out there. And if Jalen Waddle can play or not, I can't remember if he's out or not for this game. But Trent Sherfield, he only had like one catch, but it went for like 79 yards first play of the damn game. So they got some weapons out there, man. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, though. I think Dolphins will do it. It's just the Chargers defense, man, is just not what I expected. I guess I overrated them to begin the season. I thought the Chargers defense would be a really good sticking point for them this year, but it hasn't turned out that way. I mean, they're still 6-6, but I just think the Dolphins right now are a better team. I think the Dolphins defense is pretty decent as well. They're going to cause some trouble for Justin Herbert. They just picked up Bradley Chubb a few weeks ago as well, so he might make some noise out there as well. But I'm gonna go with the Dolphins at this one, and we both got the Dolphins, right? We both picking the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So let's look into these other games on the schedule. We got the Texans at the Cowboys, battle for Texas, as you could say. NFC North matchup, Vikings at the Lions, Jaguars at the Titans, Chiefs at the Broncos, Broncos country, let's ride. Panthers at the Seahawks, and the Patriots at the Cardinals for a Monday Night Football. Brandon, which of these games you be paying most attention to?
I got two games right off the top. That first one you mentioned, Houston at Dallas. The record shows that the Cowboys should damn near beat the hell out of the Texans, but the Texans are playing very hard this year. I wouldn't necessarily say they're playing very good, but they're playing very hard. So yeah, I think that'll be a little bit closer than what people, at least early on. And then Texans usually after halftime kind of disappear. So Cowboys will probably take over then. Wonder if it'll be like a 33-point game, fourth quarter like last time. We'll see.
That was insane.
And my second game, Kansas City at Denver. Mahomes coming off of a probably a very nagging loss for him. Now he's lost 3 to Joe Burrow, but that kind of factors just because usually Patrick Mahomes, that type of quarterback, when you beat him, typically the next week that opposing team takes a beating for sure. And to add even more motivation is that he's 9-0 all time against Denver. It's going to be at Denver. Primetime might even be in the stadium. I know they was joking. I think I mentioned it in a other show early this week that the reporter said, "Can I ride with you to Denver?"
That was really
Colorado.
funny.
Yeah. So the crowd will probably be a little bit hyped up if Prime is there, but I don't think it'll help because again, they're coming off a loss, number one. And number two, he's undefeated against them. So we always talk about the fact that Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. They need to start saying that Mahomes owns the Broncos too, because I mean that's pretty damn good. 9-0. About honestly, it'd be a miracle if Denver wins, in my opinion. About to be 10-0 all time. So, which games will you have your eye on during your bye week?
I'm gonna be looking at this Vikings Lions game. I think that would be a pretty good matchup. I know the Lions are like 5-7 right now, but they kind of been playing really good as of late. So I'll be interested to see if they can upset the Vikings. I'll be looking at that Chiefs Broncos game as well, just to see how Russell Wilson looks out there. I don't know. And I'm gonna look at the Panthers Seahawks game. Geno Smith is having a really good season if you look at his numbers. So I'm interested to see how you do out there. And I think we talked about it. I can't remember if we talked about it. Did you see him and Kenneth Walker get into it
You
on the
mentioned it.
sideline last game?
I still didn't see it, but I know you mentioned it though.
Yeah, it looked like Kenneth Walker was kind of barking at him, which is very surprising to me. I'm like, hold on, this dude's a rookie and he barking at the quarterback. So I'm wondering what was said and who started what, but that was very surprising to me seeing a rookie like get into it with his quarterback. I was like, dude, you better shut the hell up and sit the hell down. You a damn rookie. Go get my damn bags, clown. What the hell are you talking about? But yeah, I guess I'll look at the Jaguars Titans game as well. You know, that's another divisional matchup. So those are the games I'll be looking at. And then, Monday Night Football, Patriots and Cardinals. I don't know why this is a Monday Night Football matchup.
Yeah.
But I'll be watching it. See Kyler Murray. Let me ask you this real quick. Let me go off tangent real quick. Do you think the Cardinals head coach will be back next year if they don't make the playoffs, which looks like they won't be making it?
I think they got a lot of money invested in him, if I'm not mistaken. He just got a contract extension this past summer or the year before. So I think that's going to factor into it. Yeah, he's been known to have late season collapses, apparently all the way back to Texas Tech when he was there. I wasn't a college football fan, so I'm not sure, but I've seen the NFL. And all I can think about with this Cardinals team is that they started 7-0 last year and just went down the drain fast. And they got really blown the hell out in that wild card game or whatever, in that playoff game last year. And they haven't really rebound definitely this year at all. So I would say yes at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of them, if he's one of those late coaches to get fired. It's every now and then you get a late one that gets fired around the Super Bowl almost probably, or a little bit after that. So what about you? How do you feel about him? Oh,
I
Cliff.
think he's a little overrated. At first, I thought him and Kyler would be really good. Like you said, they started 7-0. Then
Mhm.
Kyler got hurt. They kind of fell off the track, and they just been very inconsistent. They lose games that they probably should win. They lose close games. They blow games. I don't know. I think they might want to start looking to move on from the coach because I don't even know if Kyler likes the guy now. It
Yeah.
seems like he's yelling at him every
Yeah, they
other
were
game.
jawing. Yep,
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. It might be a short stint for this guy. We'll see what happens though.
for sure. All right, everyone. So the NFL honors is typically the week before the Super Bowl, and that's where they give out the awards: MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, on and on. We're heading into Week 14, but we're going to go ahead and give our, I guess you could say, our midseason awards at this point, or update our preseason picks that we had early in the year.
Yeah.
So we'll start with MVP. I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction, Patrick Mahomes. I know you mentioned Jalen Hurts early in the year, and I think Jalen is having an awesome year, and he's definitely in the conversation, but I think Patrick is kind of the media darling, and this is, I think the AP votes for these awards anyway, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hate playing against Patrick Mahomes. Luckily, we're not on their schedule this year during the regular season. Everybody calls him the magician. 30 touchdowns, first in the league. Yes, he has 8 interceptions. It's a lot for him. It's not normal he has that many, but definitely with some time to play. So yeah, usually if he does have it, it's towards the end of the when it's all said and done. But 3,800 yards as well, which is also tops in NFL. Who's your MVP candidate right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts, and I don't like to say it because he's an Eagle, but I just think without him, I don't think they'll have the same record they are. I mean, you look at his passing numbers; they're okay, but 20 touchdowns or 3 interceptions is really good. And then also, he's their second leading rusher. He's got over 600 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns on the ground. So combined, he's got 29 touchdowns right now. So I like Jalen Hurts a lot for this Eagles team, even though it's a bitter rival for me, but he's going out there. They hit the jackpot with him. It looks like he'll be their franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future, and hopefully he can stay healthy. But definitely he took a leap this season, and I think he might have a good chance to win MVP if they keep winning like they do.
Absolutely. Offensive player of the year. I was my preseason pick was Austin Eckler out there with the Chargers, but I'm going to make a detour to the state of Minnesota and go with Justin Jefferson of the number 2 seed Minnesota Vikings, 88 receptions, 1,277 yards, plus 6 touchdowns. He also arguably had one of the greatest catches of all time against the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago. 7 out of his 12 games this season, he's topped 100 receiving yards. I swear it seems like it was more than that, but I had to go back and double check. Who's your offensive player of the year at this rate?
Right now I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs, the Raiders
Okay.
running back. Contract year for him, and I think he's definitely made some noise. He's gonna get a contract with somebody if the Raiders don't re-sign him. He's leading the NFL rushing to 1,402 rushing yards, and he's got 11 touchdowns as well. Without him, they'd be shit in water right now. They wouldn't be nothing. He's definitely the MVP of that team too. So Josh Jacobs, my offensive player of the year.
They'd definitely be fools to let him go at this point, whether it's franchise or free agency. They keep this man, pay him.
Yeah.
They want to pay every damn body else. They can pay him too. Defensive player of the year. I definitely thought TJ Watt was going to repeat heading into this season until he got injured. So give me Micah Parsons. Haven't seen much of him play, honestly. I know a lot of people, whether social media people I talk to, NFC East fans like yourself, mention him. 12 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Not a lot of tackles overall, but he's all over the place in every game. I mean, every time you turn around, you're hearing his name on the broadcast. So who's your defensive player of the year?
Yeah, it was a close one for me. I was leaning toward Michael Parsons too, but I think I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa right now. He's got 14 and a half sacks, and he doesn't have a bunch of tackles as well. He only got 36 tackles. but he's definitely a game wrecker, and I think he might wreck the Bucks going forward this next game. Hopefully not, because I'm picking the Bucks to win. I'm low key rooting for Tom Brady this year, but Nick Bosa, man, that dude's a force on that D line. So he's my defensive player of the year right now.
I think Willie McGinnis, he was on NFL Network the other night, and they was talking about this game, the Bucks and the 49ers, and he's a homer with Tom Brady, so he was like, "Oh, my Bucks," he said, and they was talking about Nick Bosa. He was like, "Man, he might have 36 some sacks on the on Tom Brady in this game because the way the offensive line is looking." So yeah, it might be a long day for Tom Brady out there in Santa Clara, his home state, for sure. Offensive rookie, a bunch
of screens.
Yeah, do something. Just get rid of the ball. You know what's best for you. Offensive rookie of the year. Man, this one stings because Breece Hall, I think he had it in the bag before he got banged up. The Jets running back. Oh, I hope he comes back and is just as good as he was after the first couple of weeks of the season, because he's definitely going to be a special player to watch. So I guess right now I'll go with Christian Watson of the Packers, the wide receiver. I know it's a little bit, some people might be, the record and this and that, but he's been playing great as of late. Ever since that week 1 drop, he rebounded against Dallas about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's been balling since. He's had a touchdown in each of the games since that Dallas game. Overall, 25 receptions for just over 400 yards and 7 touchdowns, averaging 16 yards per catch. And in that Dallas game specifically, all 3 of his catches were for touchdowns. Who do you have offensive rookie of the year? Excuse me.
This was a little tough one for me. I was gonna give it to Kenneth Walker, but I'm kind of a little biased against it right now just for that little outburst he had on the sideline. So I'm gonna go with Chris Olave of the Saints. He's their leading receiver right now. He's got 60 receptions for 887 yards. He's only got 3 touchdowns, but he's definitely their best receiver out there with Mike Thomas out. Jarvis Landry has been injured a lot this year too, but I'm gonna give it to Chris Olave.
Good pick. I've definitely heard his name a lot more over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Defensive rookie of the year, I'm gonna stick with my guy that I had come into the season, Ahmad Sauce Gardner. What was that? Number 4 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, to the Jets. 33 tackles, 2 interceptions, but he leads the NFL in passes defense with 15. Hasn't backed down from any challenge, everyone, and he continues to grow. I know the Jets have themselves a lockdown corner if they don't trade him away like the last special defender on the back end that they had in Jamal Adams. Keep this man, New York. Keep him. What about you?
I'm going to go with the cornerback for the Seahawks, Tariq Woolen. He's got 6 interceptions right now. And I think this dude was a converted wide receiver. They might have found a diamond in the rough with this dude. I don't think he was a high draft pick either, so they can get him. They got him for the cheap right now, but after his contract runs out, if he keeps playing the way he does, he's gonna get some big money. I don't want to say he's the next Richard Sherman or something like that, but this dude definitely has made a name for himself this first season in the league. Like I said, 6 interceptions, not too many tackles. I think he's got 35 solo tackles on the year, but he's definitely a playmaker and a ball hawk. And guys, the quarterback's gonna have to start looking out for him going forward in the future, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Comeback player of the year. I'm going to bend the rules just a little bit for this one. I'm going to give you 2 names, Geno Smith and or Marcus Mariota. I know Marcus Mariota. I know he got benched, and Desmond Ritter's taken over there. But the Falcons are certainly better than what they were this time last year with Matt Ryan, in my opinion. But I believe Geno will take it, at this rate, definitely against the 2 of them. Nobody had the Seahawks playing this well. We've talked about it multiple times in our shows this year. We thought that they were going to be the worst team in the league, if not maybe second or third worst team in the league. This guy has helped them way more than he's hurt them, and he's outplaying Russ this year. And he's playing better this year than Russ did last year for them. So, comeback player of the year. Who you got?
It definitely ain't Mariota. I'm thinking that clown. Kyle Pitts ain't been doing shit. Now he hurt all year. About time they bench his ass. Definitely, I'd definitely put Saquon Barkley ahead of him for comeback player just because all the injuries he's dealt with. Now he's coming back. I think he's like top 5 in rushing right now. He's got over 1,000 yards on the season. But I'm gonna go with you. I think Geno Smith is definitely the comeback player of the year. They might have found their franchise quarterback for right now, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this like a flash in the pan season. We'll see, but he's definitely earned his job. Beginning of the season, we were talking about I forgot the dude's name now, the dude from Denver.
Drew Lock.
Yeah, everybody's talking about Drew Lock is coming over. He's gonna be the starter for the Seahawks. Like, based on what? What have you seen Drew Lock to make y'all think he's gonna beat out Geno Smith? And Geno
beat
Smith
out any damn body, honestly.
Right.
The way he played in Denver.
I got some reasons for that. I don't really want to get into that, but
Smith, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Geno Smith, he's got over 3,000 yards passing right now. I think he's leading the NFC West. He's got that team in first place. If they're not in first place, they're in second place. They still got a good chance of making the playoffs right now. I think they got a wild card spot. So Geno Smith is my comeback player of the year. And he had a great quote. What'd he say? He was like, "They wrote me off and I ain't right back." That was really smooth. I like that.
Definitely. All right, the guys on the sidelines calling the plays, calling the shots. Coach of the year, I'm gonna go with Brian Daboll. I'm actually gonna bend the rules on this one or two. No, I'm not a homer. I mean, honestly, nobody would have thought these guys would have been anywhere near 7 wins at this point. Honestly, they could have had 8 last week if they had, hadn't fucked it up in overtime. But anyway, they're not playing well against the divisional opponents. As I mentioned last week, they had the Commanders. I think they're winless against the NFCs, but either way, they've basically everyone else they've played, they've pretty much beaten. With that being said, I do believe Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins will get it because his team will likely end up with a better record. We all knew the offensive playmakers would be strong, but what he's done with Tua has been very impressive. And the defense has come on as well as of late. Who's your coach of the year candidate?
My coach of the year is Jeff Saturday of the Coast. Nah, I'm joking. That ain't my coach of the
good
year.
one. Good laugh.
I like the Mike McDaniel's pick. I would go with him too, but I think I'm gonna lean towards the Eagles coach. There's my man named Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni, yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean towards him with coach of the year just because they playing really good, 11-1 right now. So I give him the edge right now. I would have said Daboll too, but they're kind of like going on a slide right now. So I think finishing the season, we'll see. But he was a leading candidate for me, but they're kind of on a downtrend right now.
True.
So I'm gonna go with Sirianni. But I like Mike McDaniels too. I think that's a good pick as well.
I tell you what, though, Nick Sirianni has rebounded. There's 2 things I remember vividly from last year is the Cardinals going 7-0 and collapsing and being the last team undefeated last year. And then the Nick Sirianni water the plants analogy phrase, whatever he had in the press conference, and everybody thought the man was crazy. I for damn sure I was like, who the hell they done hired out here? And ever since then, they've been doing all right. I mean, this year, lights out as far as the record goes. So, Sirianni's definitely right there in that conversation for sure.
Definitely. And I was mad at the Eagles because I wanted them to give Deuce Staley a shot, but we both know how that goes, how that plays out. But Nick Sirianni definitely came in his second year and is doing his thing with that team. Gotten Jalen Hurts playing really good. And that defense is playing really good as well. Yeah.
I hope Deuce Staley does. I know he's a running backs coach out in Detroit, and their offense has been playing better this year. So hopefully he'll get a little bit more looks. You can, if that's one excuse you can give him, is that was he out there last year? Yeah, he was out there last year because he left Philly after they hired Sirianni, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he has no reason why. Honestly, he's played in the league. He played at a high level in the league, and now he's been a running back coach for several years on multiple teams and under multiple coaches. So yeah, he should definitely get a shot this year, and I think he will have a little bit more better chance just because the running backs and the offense out there have been a lot better this year than in years for the Lions.
Definitely. DeAndre Swift went down early with some injuries, and Jamal Williams comes in. He having his best year. Dude got I think he's leading the NFL with touchdowns of 14 for running
Yeah.
backs. But yeah, I don't know. This could be just a random, they're flashing the pan type year for Jamal Williams, but 14 touchdowns, he's doing pretty good. So yeah, Deuce Staley definitely doing his thing. Hopefully he gets a shot to be the big guy, the big boss, and get that head coach position. But we'll see.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Before we go, we'd love to give a special shout out to each and every one of our listeners, those who watch our podcast, whether it's once a week, once or every week, excuse me. And also to our followers on Twitter and IG. We can't do it without your support, and we appreciate every last one of you.
Definitely.
But that'll do it for this show. This episode is sponsored by Premium. Go follow them and like them on Twitter and IG, Facebook. Have a great week 14, everyone.
Peace.